Alright everyone, in the previous lessons you got familiar with the blur effect. Now in this tutorial I want to teach you how to mask effects. To do this, I'm going to create a new project. So I go to the File panel and click on Close All Projects. So this project is completely closed. Now I click on New Project. I name the project Mask. I can change the location from here, and finally I click on Create, and then I click on Skip. This is how we create a new project. In the project panel, I double-click and import my desired video from here. I select this interview video and click Open to bring it in. I create a sequence from this video by clicking and dragging it into the timeline, which automatically creates a sequence from it. Now I want to shorten my video a bit. About 5 seconds is appropriate. I enter the value here and click. Now the playhead is at second 5. This way I shorten the clip. Now I want to blur the subject's face using the masking technique. So I quickly go to the Effects panel, then from Video Effects I choose the Blur section. From here, I can select either Gaussian blur or camera blur. For this tutorial, I choose this effect. I click and drag it onto the clip. This way, the Gaussian blur effect is applied. Now here you can see that we have 3 tools for creating masks. The first tool is the ellipse. If you click on it, it creates an oval-shaped mask. If I increase the blur amount, you can see that only the area inside this ellipse is blurred. I can reposition it like this, or press Ctrl+Z to go back, select the rectangle tool, and adjust the blur again. Whenever you create a mask layer is created here, and you can change its settings. Also, any mask created in Premiere can be reshaped by dragging its edges like this. And whenever you don't need it, you can click on the mask, right-click, and choose Clear to remove it. However, the mask section still exists. This time, I can use the pen tool. By selecting it, I can blur only the specific area I want, like this. As you can see, it's fully adjustable. You can drag the edges and use the handles to reshape the mask. Also, if I click on any edge, I can add new points to the mask. Now I want to delete this mask as well, so I right-click on it and choose Clear. The effect is still there, but no mask is applied right now. For now, I reduce the blur amount so we can see the full video clearly. Then I use the ellipse tool again and place it over the character's face. From here, I click on a point and move it upward using the selection tool to properly adjust the mask. By holding the scroll button, we can move around the image and fine-tune the mask. This looks good for now. If needed, we can zoom in from here to be more precise. This amount is suitable, so I set it back to fit view. After adjusting the mask on the character's face, I increase the blur amount to around 50 to 60. For me, 55 works well. Now that we've blurred the subject's face, we can soften the edges of the mask using the mask feather option. It's currently set to 10, which is fine, but you can increase or decrease it. Usually, values between 10 and 15 are good. If we want to reduce the intensity of the effect, we can use mask opacity. If we need to make the mask bigger or smaller, we can use mask expansion. Click the arrow and adjust it to scale the mask. The default setting works fine here. As we mentioned in the previous lesson, make sure the Repeat Edge Pixels option is enabled. You can also choose horizontal, vertical, or both directions for the blur effect applied to the subject. Now, if we want the character's face to be clear and blur the surroundings, we just need to enable the Invert option. This way, the face becomes sharp and the background is blurred. But when I play the video, you can see that the character's head moves, while the mask stays in place. Let me disable Invert for now. We need the mask to follow the movement of the character's head. To do this, place the playhead at the first frame, and in the mask section, click the play button next to mask path. You need to wait a bit for the software to process this automatically. If you look closely, many keyframes are created automatically. This allows the mask to track the character's face. I move the playhead to the beginning and press play. You can see the mask follows the face. I can select the program panel and press the tilde key to enlarge the view. I click here and press play so you can see it more clearly. So, this is how easily you can create an animated blur effect. If the mask tracking has some errors, you can manually adjust each keyframe and reposition the mask. This can be done easily, but in this project we didn't need it because the tracking was quite accurate. Now you can use this technique for other effects as well, which we will cover in the next lesson. That's it for everything related to masking. I'll see you in the next video.